My husband doesn't treat me seriously. I want a divorce. I, 35 female, met my husband, Tom, 40 male, 11 years ago. We were both still in the party phase of our 20s at the time. We drank and partied a lot and had jobs where that sort of lifestyle was common. I was a waitress and he also worked in restaurants. And this comes from Maria Prutzer from r/OK Storytime. But during this time, my money was never well spent and I got my car repoed twice and had to move in with him to survive. This really made him reevaluate our current lifestyle. Tom dragged me into a healthier lifestyle, kicking and screaming. Can we get a poll? Do we drag our significant others into healthy lifestyles, kicking and screaming? Force them to be healthy, yes or no?
That's tough.
It depends on where it's at.
If they're unhealthy,
of reasonable health.
Of reasonable if they're like a
health.
normal person, then no, you don't have to force them onto your train. But it sounds like if you got your car repoed twice and you want to go out and drink and party all the time, maybe you need to reconsider some things.
Drink more coconut water and keep doing everything you're doing currently. Hydrate. Now, I still wanted to party, but I didn't want to lose him. Well, we didn't know at the time that I had undiagnosed severe depression, anxiety, and PTSD. The party lifestyle was my way of self-medicating, and we didn't find out about this until much later. I ended up getting a job as a medical assistant, and he finished his degree and got a government job. We moved across the country, got married, had a baby, all while I didn't really have a solid grasp on my mental health struggles. After the birth of our daughter, I realized I still had a lot of work to do in order to become the mother that she deserved. I finally saw my doctor about my struggles, got into talk therapy, and was placed on medication. Talk therapy, as opposed to...
There's a lot of types of therapies.
Mime therapy?
Yeah.
The podcast listeners really love that segment.
Yeah. We just did something really cool.
Dude, it was so
my
good.
God,
Yeah,
it was
go to
amazing.
YouTube. Go to
Yeah,
YouTube. Come on. What are you doing? It took a couple of tries, but I am finally on a good regimen and my mental health is better than it ever has been. There we go. We'd love to see that.
Now it's mental health.
I also took the birth of my daughter as an opportunity to quit my job and start working on a degree of my own. This is where the roles in Tom and my relationship started to become a problem.
And everyone, 70% nah, do not force your partner to do healthy things.
70%. As soon as we discussed my plan to go to school, Tom took it upon himself to find a college program for me, and he picked LPN, Licensed Practical Nurse. I explained to him that while I wanted to stay in the medical field, I didn't want to move into the world of nursing for a variety of reasons. He insisted that it was the best choice for our family and that I would love it. Now, I told him that I didn't really think it would suit me well, but that if he really wanted me to go into nursing, that I should try to become an RN, a registered nurse, because the pay would be better and the training would be more comprehensive. He disagreed and said that we couldn't afford for me to be in school that long. I really didn't want to argue with him, and I felt myself shutting down, which is always done when pressured with conflict.
Okay.
Day after day, he would ask me if I had contacted the school he picked or if I had started the registration process. The constant pressure also made it very difficult for me to move forward. But finally, one day while he was at work and our daughter napped, I looked through the different programs available at the school he picked. I found radiology technologist, and this quickly caught my interest. I called the school, scheduled my placement test, and was put in touch with who would end up being my advisor. When he got home, I told him what I had accomplished and how excited I was to be in this particular program, and said something to the effect of, "But I thought you wanted to do the LPN program. When did you change your mind?" I explained, no, you wanted me to do the LPN program, and I told you I didn't want to get into nursing. I only agreed because you pushed it so hard. But look, this is a 2-year program. I'll end up being an x-ray tech, which I think will suit my strengths a lot better, and it has a lot of the same requirements. We ended up agreeing that rad tech was the best idea, but he has always insisted that LPN was my idea. I don't like it.
Like, why?
I don't like it. I agree with Jonica. I see you. Shout out to Jonica. We share half a name. I love that. Fast forward 2 years. I'm thriving in school and as a mother and with my mental health. Good in all departments. Our daughter is due to start preschool in the fall, and I will be transferring schools to complete my degree. I have a 3.9 GPA. Genius. I am part of a prestigious honor society and have earned numerous scholarships. I would like to think I have grown up immensely in the past few years. However, Tom still often treats me like a child. He does this in a lot of different ways. Whatever the issue is, we almost always navigate through it and find a compromise. I don't shut down with confrontation anymore, and I've gotten much better at arguing my points of view. But the way he talks to me seems super dismissive, and he has the same tone as a strict father talking to a rebellious teen. That drives me crazy.
Yeah, that's brutal.
When someone's like, "Oh no, just do this. It's okay, sweetie.
And it's also like you can see her growth here, but
Yeah.
if in the early on part, if you're not necessarily firm in your point of view or even just a good arguer, it doesn't even matter who's right. You're always going to lose. If like somebody is like more tactful with it, no, you should do this, and like they're more manipulative, you'll always feel like you're losing. And so then to have ground to stand on, he's probably just still in his same old I'm right vibes.
And he's continued through the whole time. He's always like, no, do this. Yeah. Always like, no, just do this. Like, I finally reached my breaking point with the way he talks to me yesterday. I had gone to my new campus to pick up my student ID and to walk around and get a feel for the place. I ended up being able to also get a copy of my class schedule before it was posted online. I realized that they had registered me for a class that I had already completed this past semester. Tom called me while he was at lunch to chat, and I told him about my day and the mix-up with my classes. I told him I would make sure updated transcripts got sent to the campus, and I would email my advisor to discuss filling the slot with a different class. Tom essentially took almost his entire lunch break to not only tell me what to do, but most of what he said was what I already planned on doing. When he had tired himself out with his rant, I stayed quiet and just said, okay. A somber okay could be a nuclear bomb to a relationship. He asked if I was mad, and I simply said, no, but please stop treating me like a child and trust that I can do this on my own. You basically took 15 minutes to tell me the exact same thing I told you. Stop it. I said that, not her. Later that night, while I was cooking dinner, he opened the envelope that had my schedule in it, which had my name on it, not his, and started reading the schedule. This is a huge pet peeve of mine, but no matter how often I tell him this, he still does it. He then started trying to explain to me what all the different abbreviations on the format. Bro said,
this dude can't handle not being the one who knows things and like tells her what like this is crazy.
He can't breathe. He can't take another breath.
He's like, I need you to know that I know this. I need you to know that I know this.
Just a little sodium chloride.
Actually, dude, it's salt.
That's what I said.
No, dude, you said sodium chloride. Yes, it's the same as salt, but you could have just said salt instead. Everyone in this town knows you're a boy genius, dude. You don't need to say overly large words to sound more intelligent. The fact of the matter is that nobody cares how smart you are. If anything, calling simplistic objects by their scientific name ironically makes you seem less intelligent and more pompous.
Did you know about this abbreviation, baby? Oh, thank God.
I'm glad I taught you that.
I almost lost it there.
I'm glad I taught you that.
And then he started saying that he didn't like how my schedule was set up. He thought that it was too many classes, one right after the other. It's 3 classes in a row and would allow me to finish my school day early.
Come on. Efficiency.
Dude, batching?
I did that, and I hated it. I did 3 classes in a row during lunchtime. It was like 11 to 1.
He started telling me that I needed to tell my advisor to stretch out my schedule to allow time for a long lunch break, possibly with study time in between, yada, yada. I say yada, yada because I stopped hearing what he said after a moment. Was he literally telling me to do the exact same thing that I asked him to stop earlier that day? Was he really mansplaining my class schedule to me? Was he really under the impression that he could tell me what to tell my advisor? I ended up cutting him off in the middle of whatever he was saying and saying, hey, you're doing it again. Can you please stop treating me like a child? I'll take care of this myself. He responded, I'm just trying to help, but if you don't want my help, then fine. I'll just shut up then.
I want to know what his GPA was. Show me the tax, show me the tax return, show me the GPA.
There's literally only 2 ways he can be as smart or smarter than OP.
Yeah.
And my guess?
It's you either have a 3.9 or a 4.0. And if you don't have either of those things,
shut up.
Zip the lip.
Let's see the receipts. I lost it at that moment. The floodgates opened, and I honestly had no control of the words that came out of my mouth. I was batching talking. I yelled that he wasn't trying to help, that he was trying to dictate. I threw my GPA in his face. Smart move. Playing checkers, not chess, or chess, not checkers. And explained how much I accomplished while being the full-time caregiver to our child, cooking every meal, running every household errand, and keeping the house spotless. I yelled that I wasn't the dress over my head party girl, who needed a guiding hand anymore, and that I was a grown-ass responsible woman. I ended up with saying, you need to stop treating me like a GD child and start treating me like a partner because I've earned it, which, by the way, you don't even need to earn it.
Hey.
But she also did.
Speak.
Talk.
Preach.
Talk that talk.
Talk yo talk.
Batch queen. Tom was silent. Couldn't batch any words. We haven't had a fight involved yelling in years. He wasn't used to the side of me at all. Eventually, he apologized and said that I was right, and then went to have some alone time to process everything. Here's why I think that I might have been the a-hole, and no, it's not him trying to gaslight me into me thinking I am. As I play the whole thing back in my head, I can't help but think that I seriously crossed a line or two. First, our daughter, who's only 2 years old, was in the room with us, and I never want us to be the type of parents that yell and scream in front of her. But you can yell and scream to your friends that we're live on YouTube every weekday at 3 p.m. We're live on YouTube every 3 p.m. Thank you. You can say that in front of your children. Janthony, by the way. I am totally fine with you yelling that to Janthony. Did you hear me? And second, in the span of a couple of years, I basically completely flipped the script on him. The beginning was most of our relationship was spent with him being the grown-up and me being the screw-up. I have essentially changed my entire brain chemistry with medication and have had talk therapy to help me grow as a person. Basically, I reinvented myself. While all this has happened over the course of 2 years, you'd be surprised with how quickly time flies in your late 30s, early 40s, especially with a baby slash toddler thrown into the mix. To Tom, it could really seem like this change and my anger came out of nowhere. Also, just because I've changed doesn't mean that he has. He hasn't been through the same hormonal and chemical changes that I've been through. Maybe I'm the a-hole for expecting the person he has always been to suddenly conform to me. So what's the verdict? Am I the a-hole? We got some stuff to break down here, Anthony. First off, it seems OP is very fair and self-aware.
She's become very self-aware, and maybe she always was self-aware, but it's in the story.
Reach a
Ebbs
new
and
level.
flows of this story. Yeah,
She's the batch queen.
she's the match queen.
She's made it.
I'm on her side. I think you are not the a-hole, and I think he can handle one outburst. I think he can handle that, and if he can't, and I think he will. It sounded like he heard it and was like, dang, okay, yeah, you're right. And it'll take a little bit of time for him to be like, yeah, I don't need to say all these things all the time.
Yeah, I think
Because maybe in the past, like, he literally did have to do all that stuff because she was maybe not quite in control. I don't want to assume too much, but so he didn't sort of shake off that shell of having to do that yet.
he's kind of had this like conditioning, for lack of a better word, of like, oh, I'll like hop in and help or whatever, which maybe was actually a useful thing in the past, but now is like the complete opposite.
Yeah, now the kid is grown up. It's like, no, Mom, you can't tell me what to do.
Little Janthony, he's a big grown man.
Big grown
You know,
man now.
He makes me proud.
So, OP, I don't think you're the a-hole.
I think I'm with you. I think we have said before, like, I generally do think to try super hard to never like yell at your partner in a relationship. On the flip side of that token, he didn't get it until she
If that's what it takes.
and that's what it took.
It wasn't like physical. It wasn't like this crazy thing. There was
It wasn't
no
too
like
far.
sabotage. It was
Yeah.
just like burst of intense conversation.
Yeah. And I think like, and OP is like, I think very self-aware of it. And I think it's totally fair to say, hey, it was a mistake of like how I communicated it, but it ultimately ended up kind of needing to be what happened. And like also agree with like not wanting to yell in front of the kids and everything, like totally good rule. But yeah, I think especially, I think what pushes me over the edge to not the a-hole is OP's self-awareness and fairness.
And even asking.
And even
the people,
asking,
like, am I,
Am
did
I in
I
the
take
wrong
it too
here?
far?
Yeah.
Is something a self-aware person would
Which
do.
is usually many times the person is like, look, guys, I'm not an a-hole. Like, I'm coming here just to prove my point. She's doing the exact opposite.
Yeah.
So I think I'm in agreement, not the a-hole. That's what I'm saying. But, Anthony, I would be an a-hole if I ended this episode right here.
Talk to me.
I would be a raging monster.
Talk
a
to me.
lunatic. Janthony would resent me for life.
Oh, for life?
But-
Wouldn't you?
I don't want to do that to us. I don't want to do that to Janthony or our beautiful members watching live right now. So could you read us another story? Is there any way?
I think I might just be able to do that.
Let's go.
We'll get back to the story, but something funny happened this weekend. So I was playing basketball with like a bunch of these old guys.
Right.
And the other team was a bunch of like younger dudes, 25 and plus.
Okay.
And I was with these like older guys and they were running, and dude, these young guys were literally running circles around the old guys. And while they were playing, this one guy on my team, the old team, popped his knee and had to leave. It was really bad.
Like, what did it look like?
I didn't look. I didn't want to look. I just saw him hobble off, and then I just played the rest of the game.
Oh, man.
Yeah, and he was like, where do I go? And I didn't know what to say.
Bro sounds like me. What's going on?
There's only one place that you send someone who's hobbling off the court, and that's ZocDoc.
ZocDoc is a free app and website where you can search and compare highly rated in-network doctors near you.
And instantly book appointments with them online.
And y'all, all of these docs have verified reviews from actual real patients.
We're talking about booking appointments with tens of thousands of top-rated, patient-reviewed, credible doctors and specialists.
And you can filter the ones that take your insurance. And
treat basically any condition you're searching for.
Wow. The typical wait time to see a doctor booked on ZocDoc is just between 24 and 72 hours.
Sometimes even in the same day.
Y'all, I use ZocDoc. We use ZocDoc. You should use ZocDoc too.
Go to ZocDoc.com/OKOP and download the ZocDoc app for free. Then find and book a top-rated doctor today.
That is ZocDoc.com/OKOP, ZocDoc.com/OKOP. Let's get back to the episode.
My husband is convinced I'm cheating. I think he's delusional.
Just a quick trigger warning. This story involves some mental health issues, some emotional, possibly verbal abuse. If you're sensitive to that, you might want to skip this one. We'll get into it.
Okay, so my husband has been dealing with some major issues. We have not yet figured out what it is, but he has been dealing with certain delusions. For example, it all started 6 months ago when he was convinced he had caught me cheating because he found a document.
I cheated. Signed, OP.
It's crazy. He just found this document.
It was a contract.
Oh, it's so weird. When I arrived home and he tried looking for it to show me, he obviously couldn't find
It
it.
was ChatGPT. It deleted it. It made it up.
The
AI.
By the way, this comes from Upstairs Writing 5155 from the ROK Storytime subreddit. He is going to therapy, but as of right now, we are technically separated and living in different rooms. It's just because this keeps happening. A certain insecurity eats at itself into my husband, and he becomes convinced it's the truth. He either dreams proof or he just convinces himself that anything is proof. I don't know what he does with the therapist, but I honestly don't see it getting better. Last week, he was mad at our daughter, who's 15, because she didn't want him to drive her to prom and take pictures with her. When I went to ask her, she said that was not true. She had talked to her dad about what she would like to do when she graduates in 2 years. Her father just got really mad at the perceived slight.
Guessing.
The problem is that he keeps talking to people about the issues. I was already wondering why so many mutuals stopped responding to me. Oh, but apparently they all think I'm an awful human being and a terrible spouse. That's
Not
tough.
fun.
This is odd. I just want to tell people what is going on. Also, so they are aware that my husband is basically lying to them and for them to tell me delusions that he might be having that I don't know.
AI is ruining this family.
AI's running rampant.
This has got to be some sort of condition.
Yeah, Duchess Cassandra, we actually had a big story a while back. Brain tumor or something. Literally this person became a completely different person. They found it, cut it out, and then they were back to normal.
Whoa.
So yeah, it seems like it could be some sort of major medical type.
That the AI planted.
Yeah, he's doing
Conspiracy
everything.
theory.
Damn, they got smart.
But at the very beginning of his therapy, he begged me not to tell anyone because people would think he is crazy. Yeah, therapy's crazy. That it would also be an a-hole thing to do that would basically feed into his delusions. I get the not telling people about, he's going to therapy. Maybe that's something he doesn't want people to know. But if you're lying to people and all these crazy things are happening. Anyway, I just feel like I'm done. Am I the a-hole? Edit. We already did a brain scan MRI and nothing was found. So to answer that question, verdict by the comments is not the a-hole. Shall we read some comments or do we have some thoughts?
Yeah, I think that if it keeps getting to a certain point, I definitely think OP would not be the a-hole. I don't know. Did they mention how far?
I don't think they're the a-hole.
There should be a lot more, or there could be a lot more things than just like a brain tumor or something like we thought. Maybe there's, brain chemistry. Can you even see that in an MRI? I don't know. Maybe.
I have no idea. It just seems from the POV of the OP, if your whole life is being turned upside down because somebody's spreading these weird lies and people are falling off, people aren't responding or they aren't reaching out as much as they used to be because they think you're this weird, terrible person, you have to do something. Or, I don't know, what would you do?
It's like if life is, like you said, your life is flipped upside down. You're walking around the neighborhood with some guys that are up to no good, and you can want to leave a fight and your mom gets scared.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Says you got to go to Blair. But in all seriousness, I think that this very, very quickly would become something where it's I should leave this relationship because what OP's saying saying like all of these things are like not happening. She's asking the daughter. She's saying what? I'm curious. I think Bethany said like, what was a document? Like what document would
Yeah.
like?
Yeah, it's not like a picture. It's not a text.
It's a document.
This PDF.
I wrote this short
unsignable
story.
PDF. My manuscript.
Yeah, about Mo P.
Yeah.
A totally fictional character. I think at this point it sounds like breakup, which they're married with a kid, right? Yeah, married with a 15-year-old kid.
Yeah. And the kid must be somewhat aware because they said, no, that's not what
They're being
we were
affected.
talking. Yeah, they're
That's
being
also
affected
another
too.
thing. I
And
think
it
if the
seems
kids
like everybody is just wanting to trust the guy.
He's the one that got the word out
which
first.
is a little sus.
I feel like.
Yeah, he got to the scene first. He's like, nope, this is what happened. This is what's happening.
She's crazy.
Yeah,
she's the Lulu. And
Yeah.
it's like, oh, look at her.
Okay, let's see what the people are saying. Obviously, I'm not in the medical field, but I can't describe them as anything else. Mainly because we have not done any of the things he's convinced himself of. For example, he convinced our oldest daughter, 19, 2 kids, pregnant because she said no to sushi. She was just not in the mood for raw fish. So my husband obviously became obsessed with the idea that our daughter was pregnant. He would go to full rants saying how dare she, we gave her anything, etc. This is clearly something's wrong.
Yeah, and it's feeling like dangerous, like at this point, even just in terms of like dangerous of a emotional or verbal abuse perspective. Like if your partner is like saying this, if my partner is saying this to my daughter, I'm like, we need to like
remove, because something's off and it's not healthy to anybody.
Seems like they've been on r/conspiracy theories or r/red pill, and any little thing they see, they just go into a rabbit hole and fixate on it.
You know where they should have been?
What? Where should they would have been at?
r/OK Storytime.
Everybody knows nothing bad happens.
That's correct. Sunshine and rainbows.
You're all safe here. There was an update 5 months later. I was not allowed to update on Am I the A-Hole because of the violent content of the post. Here's the link. Okay. Maybe that was the sort of the pregnant.
They did the post before, so now they're on a new subreddit now.
New subreddit. I thank everyone for their supportive words, especially the people who have been through something similar. Thank you so much for sharing with me. It makes me feel less alone. Thank you, internet. Also, just because I have seen that a lot of people have not been able to read my first post, I have tried everything from getting him to a real psychologist to having him committed. I've tried with his doctor, with my
Mother-in-law.
Mother-in-law, thank you, and with my lawyer, but he has not broken the law or actually assaulted me. Just threatened to end me and our daughter, for being rower oars. My bad. But to the police, that does not matter because we don't matter. So please, all the suggestions you have and suggestions to get him committed or that he might have a tumor or dementia or schizophrenia, please stop. I have no fight left in me. I also have no legal ground over him. I can't care anymore or I will drive myself insane. This is getting very serious. He still has a support net. He will never be alone, but that man is dangerous to me and my daughters. And the duty of a parent is above all else. So again, please stop suggesting what he could have or what I should do regarding him because that job is no longer mine. First off, thank you for all your feedback and support. I took some time to process everything and honestly, I was at my breaking point. The situation has escalated in ways I never imagined and I've made some tough decisions. After I posted, things started to unravel quickly. About 5 months ago, when my husband's behavior first started escalating, I quietly consulted with a lawyer. At that time, his delusions had begun to affect our daily lives, and I knew I needed legal advice. The divorce process requires a period of legal separation before the divorce can be finalized. We initiated the process, and I requested full custody of our 15-year-old daughter, given her increasing fear of her father. The court was also concerned and ordered a psychological evaluation for husband to assess his mental fitness for parenting. A few weeks into the legal separation, my husband's paranoia worsened. He started placing Apple AirTags in my car and in our 15-year-old daughter's backpack, tracking our every move. My daughter was the one who found the AirTag in her bag and was terrified. When I confronted him, he insisted it was for our safety, but it was clear to me that his paranoia was spiraling out of control. This incident deeply affected our daughter, who began refusing to see her father. Around this time, my mother-in-law reached out to me. She was concerned because my husband had accused her of cheating on his father, something that was completely out of character for him. Father-in-law didn't believe it for a second, but was deeply worried about his state of mind. Her reaching out was a small but much needed relief. She acknowledged that his behavior was erratic and offered her support, knowing that something was seriously wrong. This is intense. I will not lie.
I think that this is definitely above our pay grade. But what I will say is that like I think that OP like prioritizing her daughter's well-being and her well-being above all else is like absolutely the right move. And yeah, kind of. I feel like
honestly,
this is
really smart to get the conversation going with the lawyer, knowing like in your gut that something's wrong and like that you need to protect your family.
Yeah, not that I would know what to do, but I feel like everything OP has done was like absolutely the right move. And again, like prioritizing her daughter and her protection. And that's like, what else can...
My older daughter, who's 19, had also become involved in the situation. She had been quietly documenting her father's behavior for months. She recorded 3 different occasions where my husband went on delusive rants. The first one was about how I'm supposedly cheating on him with one of my coworkers, a man I barely interact with. The second was about how our 15-year-old daughter was secretly dating somebody older and lying to him about it. The third was about how the entire family was conspiring against him, to make him look crazy. Watching these videos was heartbreaking, but they validated everything I've been dealing with privately. I mean, it sounds like schizophrenia to me, but again, she said stop suggesting that, but that's my instinct.
Yeah, it seems like I have
I don't
no
know.
idea.
I don't have any idea, but from the little things I've heard.
Definitely something extremely wrong. Like extreme.
Things escalated further when my husband almost attacked one of my colleagues. He had convinced himself that this man was the affair partner I was supposedly seeing behind his back. It took all my strength to physically separate them before the situation turned to violent.
Oh my God. OP had to separate them.
Dang, this is getting nuts. As the legal process continued, my lawyer informed me that due to the severity of the situation and the psychological evaluation ordered by the court, my request for full custody was strongly considered. In Spain, courts typically prioritize the well-being of the child, and given my husband's mental state and the danger he posed, it seemed likely that I would be granted full custody of our 15-year-old daughter. She made it clear that she didn't want to see her father, and the court was taking her wishes into account. In the midst of this, my 19-year-old daughter decided to take matters into her own hands. Ugh, this is tough. She posted the 3 videos she recorded on her father's breakdowns on Instagram, along with compilations of text, photos, and other evidence she had to collect over the past few months. Oof. Her intention was to show the world what we had been enduring, but it quickly turned into a public spectacle. The backlash was intense. Some people were horrified and reached out with sympathy and support, while others criticized us for airing out dirty laundry and accused my daughter of betraying her father.
Yeah, that's
never the move.
That's a lot.
No matter, like, what do you gain just to sort of dissuade anybody who might be on, like, think you're lying? Like, why would you do that?
I have no idea. Yeah,
that's never the move.
I think now collecting it just so like I don't know, like legal case or whatever, totally. But yeah, airing it out is.
As the divorce process continued, my husband's mental health became a significant factor. The psychological evaluation ordered by the court revealed the depths of his delusions, particularly around cheating and female sexuality. It became clear that he was not fit to make decisions regarding our daughter's well-being. The evaluation supported my claim for full custody, and the court is now in the process of finalizing that decision. In the meantime, all communication between my husband and me is being handled through our lawyers, and I'm ensuring that any interaction between him and our 15-year-old daughter is supervised. This is quite a long clarification, but we will continue on. Given the severity of the situation and the damage done to our lives, I'm making plans to move away with my daughter once the legal proceedings are finalized. My reputation in our current community is shattered, thanks to his delusions and the lies he has spread. That's really, really unfortunate. Like, what else can you do but leave?
100%.
Starting fresh somewhere new seems like the only way for us to heal and rebuild our lives. I never wanted it to come to this. I still care deeply for my husband, but I can't keep sacrificing our well-being for the sake of his image. The revolution that he's been lying to his therapist, or rather his unqualified life coach, was a breaking point for me. I realized I couldn't trust him to get better on his own. Thankfully, some friends have started to see through his stories and are reaching out to support us, which gives me hope. But I know it's going to be a long, difficult road ahead. For anyone else in a similar situation, please know that you are not alone. This has been the hardest decision I've ever made, but sometimes you have to do what's best for your own mental health and safety, no matter how much it hurts. Thank you again for all the advice. I'm hopeful this is the first step towards a better future, even if it's a painful one.
Wow.
I don't know.
There's not much you can
There's
say,
not much you
right?
can say.
I think like this is one of those situations that it's just so far beyond that it's like, you know, it's just two guys on a podcast.
Yeah.
Like,
Hey, here's what you should do.
you know?
I think what I'm trying to do is imagine if my partner were to suddenly do all these things, how confusing that would be to me, to be like, man, here's somebody who I've been in a relationship for a while. It's normal. I have 2 kids with who are 15 and 19. And all of a sudden,
out of nowhere,
he's questioning all these things that aren't real. And you're like, you know, the first one, you're like, okay, that's a little weird. And then it just keeps happening. That's crazy.
And probably, like, to your point, like, you've known this person for like 20, 25, 30 years. There's so much trust there that it'll probably take a while
To untrust, yeah.
before you even like, because like if it's like a new relationship, it's like, oh, this is, you know, I don't want to get involved in this, but because the so much trust is there, and then it's like, it's an impossible situation to be in. The one thing I will say is I think OP probably did every single thing right.
It seems like it.
If you know,
That's
just
all
in
we
my
can
imagining
yeah.
it. It seems like OP protected her daughter, protected herself, got herself out of the situation, like, you know, cut her lies, like, hey, look, our safety and everything else is just absolutely number one. That's it, point blank, period. And I don't know, I feel like that's all you can do. But again, two guys on a podcast can't really, you know, there's something every once in a while. There's one of those that we, you know, we're not qualified for. But here we are, ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen, should we go through some?
All right, boys and girls, let's take him home. My husband is acting like a child, so I gave him a bedtime. Put him to sleep. I'm 23 female, and my husband is 25 male. For the last year and a half, we have been living in my parents', and it's been a living nightmare, and he won't do anything to help me. Somehow, I got stuck cleaning up. After 5 grown adults and 4 cats, we got married in April, right before the wedding. I found out I was pregnant. Got one in the oven. That was very sincere. Wow. Very shocked. Congratulations. By the way, congratulate Dry Replacement 4955 because they wrote the story and put it on our /storytime.
Dry replacement? What is that?
Who knows?
Gonna gloss over that.
You know that dry story.
Dry replacement.
I knew that from the start of our marriage. Something was wrong. I knew married life was hard, but our husband's really supposed to do absolutely nothing but going to work, and this is the first job he's actually kept longer than 6 months. Well, I stopped working when we found out I was pregnant with all the nausea and things I was going through. It was just too much, and we agreed that since he was making a decent amount of money, I would be a stay-at-home mom. Well, right after we got married, everything seemed to fall apart. He wasn't interested in anything, stopped taking the trash out of his gaming room, stopped wanting to spend time with me, and held spicy sleep. He was just a jerk, very rude, and would constantly make fun of me and tell me my deodorant makes me smell like an old man.
Dang. Yeah, that's what I want in a partner.
Yeah.
That's the kind of partner I want.
You know, when we had Janthony, and I started clowning you for your deodorant.
Yeah, no, that was a tough spot for us.
But
you know what? I told you how I felt.
Yes.
And I said, I don't like when you say I smell like Gramps.
That's right. And I didn't listen, and I kept going. And Janthony will never talk to me ever again.
And I secretly filed for a divorce.
Yeah, and you were right. You know, you were right to do that. I have a sweating disorder, and it's the only thing that works for me. She's probably so
self-conscious about that.
Come on. Even with perfume and deodorant. Making just hateful comments similar to this one, commenting about my belly and how I don't look like a normal pregnant woman. Dude, talking about your pregnant wife like that?
Yeah, you don't look so great with our child in your stomach.
Yeah, right?
You know, it's not really a good look for you.
Oh! I have a B belly because I was plus size before I got pregnant. I don't know what that means, but comments, please educate me. I am 5'2", 200 pounds, comments about my weight gain, even though I've lost 25 pounds since I became pregnant. He just makes me feel horrible about myself, and I even go buy a new dress to try and get his attention. And said, hey, do you like my dresses? Pointing out the obvious. And he just said, meh, or I don't really like that color on you. I always feel like there's other women, and he hates me looking at his phone, but the 2 times I did snoop, I found nothing. But after the last time, he put a password on it. At this point, all my boundaries, he seems he doesn't care and just completely ignores them.
Why is everyone checking through phones?
Yeah, what's the deal?
It is
What's
check
the
through
deal?
phone season right now. Whatever this season is, people are taking it.
Poll in the chat. Is it ever okay to check somebody's phone without asking them?
Is there a reason?
Is there ever a reason where
Can it be
that's
done? Please let us know.
an unwarranted phone check?
Inquiring minds want to know. Well, now I'm 8 months pregnant. And for the past few weeks, I've been getting no sleep because he wants to be up until 2 a.m. playing his video games and then have me wake him up at 6 a.m. for work. Hey, there's this crazy invention. It's called an alarm. Like,
No.
It's mind-bending. No,
That's crazy. That, John.
It's mind-bending technology. It's
How
a
dare you say
clock.
something like that in front of D'Anthony?
It's a clock. Anthony, you need to know the truth about time. Oh my God. I used to be a gamer and started off on a PC when I was about 6 or 7 with World of Warcraft and RuneScape, and at 17 changed to PlayStation until about a few months ago. So I get it. Not mad he's gaming, even though that's all he does anymore, and he does not like to spend time with me. Like from the time he comes home till he goes to bed, all days on the weekend, we don't even eat dinner together anymore. Bro just walks through the door, game.
You know those videos where people take like the gaming system and like run over it with a lawnmower or whatever? Might I suggest a quick lawnmower remedy?
Did we throw a little
quick pool
suggested in
toss
there?
it in the pool remedy?
Yeah.
That'll really spice things up.
Oh my God, dude. Honestly, the videos with like the kids.
Yeah, they're like it's like the 35-year-old like hermit guy who's like,
oh yeah.
by accident.
76% of people say no, you cannot
76?
look at
76.
look at the phone unwarranted.
I mean, 30
That's not
or 20.
24 say,
It's a big ongoing
wow.
topic of debate on this show.
Expose yourself.
Yeah. Expose yourself. Hey,
Expose yourself.
like, say your reasons why in the comments.
Yeah.
Explain
See,
yourself.
I can imagine one might think that if you were to be one of those 24%, you would think. Anyway.
Just plead your case. We want to see. Inquiring minds want to know. Well, I finally got tired of it. I tried going to bed at 9:30, and he came up at 1:30, throwing his stuff around, being all mad, and being loud. Dude, if you're a grown man with your pregnant wife trying to sleep and you're throwing your game controller,
I can't believe I just lost that game.
I gave birth to my freaking Fortnite skins, bro. I can't lose them.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah,
I
there's
could
so
never
much more
abort my
value to me.
Fortnite skins. When I told him I would be sleeping to keep it down, and he woke me up telling me he was coming to bed and demanding I have alarm set for him in the morning. You have thumbs! Use them! You use them for games! We're going to play this crazy game. It's called Setting an Alarm.
You know what? Here's the crazy thing.
What?
You don't even have to use your thumbs.
Oh my gosh!
Yo, what up, Siri?
Hey, could you set
Wake
this
me up.
Instead of hey wife, hey Siri,
Yeah.
set this.
You don't even have to bother her.
And you know what you win? Getting up on time
Crazy.
and having a productive life.
Hey, you know who's not pregnant?
Oh,
Siri.
got him. So I started staying up more and more, and it's messing with my health, and I'm having more pain in my hips and back, and find myself struggling the day on 4 hours of sleep. She is carrying a whole child in her, and he will not do anything. And once my body gets on a schedule, I can't change it. My body won't allow me to sleep during the day. I can lay in bed as long as I want. It's not going to happen. Well, last night he comes in doing the same thing, and I had fallen asleep. He woke me up 4 times last night, demanding I get him food, water, sleeping meds. Who is this man? Find him! Destroy him! What? Actually,
Imagine waking. I'm
Right?
livid.
right?
Waking somebody up, no matter who they are, to say, "Give me some food." Who are you?
Some water.
Give me some food. We're like,
Let alone your 8-month
Water.
pregnant wife. I have a call to action. If you are an incredibly good gamer, or if you're a internet sleuth, find this person, incredibly good gamer, find OP's husband and play him every single time and just destroy him.
no. Find a way to hack into his computer
There we go.
and
Take it all away.
take it all the way.
Delete his accounts.
Delete his account somehow.
Delete him.
Anyway.
You know what I wish they could delete? Their marriage.
Ooh!
Let's see
I
if they
wish he
do.
could somehow smoothly get out of it.
We'll see about that.
See about that.
So the last and then the final time saying that we're going to live with my parents till I can find a job as soon as our son's born so I can understand how he feels. He woke her up to tell her, I'm not going to work anymore. We're going to live at your parents' house so you can see how it feels.
To have everything like paid for and like provided for you. And we're going to see how you like that.
Wow. Dude. Oh. Fran Wade says throw him away.
Throw him away. I like that.
Sophia Callan says your mom gave you legs. Use them, and walk out the door.
Why isn't the dishwasher making preach?
So even though the first 2 years of our relationship, I was the provider, he could not keep a job, and I was paying his child support.
Which they're not together?
Does he have another kid? Yeah, this is a little confusing. Maybe we'll get a little more context. And that completely goes against our agreement. I don't mind to work, but if I do, my insurance goes away. Free diapers and formula will go away, and my entire paycheck will be going to daycare, and the rest probably to pay his child support again.
What just happened? So he must have another
Yeah, I don't know if we're
kid?
flash forwarding here. I think OP is saying like, okay, so she was like the breadwinner and provider for the first 2 years of the relationship. He could remember earlier she said he's never had a job longer than 6 months before. Maybe when she's saying his child support, like his share of.
Yo, we have evidence of what he is spending his money on.
Do tell, please.
I'm adding it.
Oh my God, new information.
Like you went to the
I went to
Reddit?
their their subreddit. Wait, is this the end?
We're not at the end yet. We're very close.
I'll add it to the end.
Okay.
Okay.
And then Sophia Callan said he's a dad already. He has another kid. Of course he does. Sophia, is that from something early in the story that we missed? Please let us know in the chat, if that's what the case is, because it seems like that, but it's confusing. By the way, what's never confusing is we're live every weekday at 3 p.m.
Not confusing
Simple.
at all.
So tap our profile and join us. But I'm worried. I'm worried that he will not work if I am working. So finally, this morning, I sent him a message telling him I agree to pick up part-time, but nothing more from now on. I'm going to bed and locking the door at 11 p.m. if he's not there, and he's just going to have to sleep on the couch for that night. When you have to lock your partner out of your room, something's wrong. It's not really a bedtime, it's a choice. If you want to stay up, that's fine, but you're not going to wake me up and demand me around like I am a slave. Well, he called me on his lunch break, cussed me out, and said, oh, look at what all he's done for me and how much my stuff belongs to him because he paid for it. And talking about how I couldn't survive one day at his work. I hung up on him and he said he's not coming home tonight. Yeah, I feel really bad, but I'm tired of being walked on. Am I the a-hole for finally putting my foot down? We have some relevant comments and stuff I think Riley has dug up.
Yeah, this is like some good stuff from OP.
Very good. No. Not the a-hole. This is insanity. Who is this man?
Who raised him? Who raised this person?
Also, notice, read between the lines, he was like, well, go live at your parents' house. Why not his parents?
No, I think that's where they are. No?
Right now?
Because his whole thing was, we'll live at your parents' house and see how that feels. Or am I tripping?
I think it's because he's been the provider and breadwinner for like the last few months or longer. I think they're
But
living
I think they're still...
on their own. You could be right. They're 23 and 25.
I think he was saying that because it's like, you don't know what I'm...
You're correct. For the last year and a half, we've been living with my parents. It's been a living nightmare.
So he's like... Imagine not living with your own family.
Right.
You
right.
know? And it's
Yeah.
I deserve more I don't know.
Yeah. But, I mean, this guy's a piece of stinking dookie.
Piece of work.
Piece of work.
That's for sure.
Like, my God, waking up his 8-month pregnant wife to get him water?
To get anything.
Like, low-key, is it not more energy to go to your wife, wake her up, wait for her to wake
up, and then wait for the food,
and then
wait for whatever it is. What are you just gonna sit there? You're like,
yeah.
Dude, wait till you see his budgeting breakdown. The way he budgets his stuff, dude.
I can't wait.
Livid.
Should we get into it?
John's gonna love it, dude. I know John's gonna love every single cent of it.
Here we go. So, Opie says here's some relevant comments.
I love Fran. Wait, poor in character, rich in audacity. That's a bar,
dude.
Fran, that is a bar.
Fran Wade for the win. So, Opie says, he wasn't like this before I married him. I didn't know about the job situation. I paid $385 towards his child support, which is half because he would lie to me and tell me that his work messed up his paycheck. I believed him once and started paying rent and groceries, and he took care of all of his bills. But to do that, he only had to work 3 weeks to be able to afford it. I didn't know till after we got married about him not keeping a job. But now I feel like I have to stay because things he says like, well, you get to tell our son why he doesn't have a dad and that I could never make it without him. Well, we have the supplemental information from OP. Apparently it's the deets. Here we go, okay? I have asked him. We have been here for a year and he hasn't saved a dime in a year. I did some budgeting this morning to figure out where all his money was going. We were supposed to be out 6 months ago, like moved out of the parents' house. And we have the budget right here in front of us. So we have Flying J. Do you know what that is? $42. Unidentified Flying J. Whatever that means. $42 for that. PlayStation, $559.83. Insurance, $142.49. Car payment, $158.68.
I think I think we under gas, phone bill, fast food, vape. Oh,
Vape, $186. Other gas,
$400. That's $400.
$405.
What's
if you have
CS?
a
I guess so.
non-fuel efficient car and you're
Child support is $568.
okay, yeah, she mentioned that. Okay, so we got a lot of stuff. Fast food.
Is bro
82, phone bill,
buying a PlayStation every
vape,
month?
Other.
Is that part of his monthly budget to buy a new PlayStation? Guys, we have to spend, let's see, wait. We have to spend basically the same amount on child support as PlayStations. That's a very important part of the budget.
No, you have to spend more on PlayStation than child support every month.
That's true. We need to change it.
And Flying J is a gas station. Thank you, chat.
$42 at a gas station.
Probably like buying like lottery
He
tickets
probably
or whatever.
drives a fair amount for work. It seems like $400 in gas a month and the gas station stuff.
He's definitely driving a lot, hopefully for work, but oh God. So sorry for my horrible handwriting. He makes roughly $1,400 to $1,700 every 2 weeks, and we are in a small southern town, so that's quite a bit to us. My parents will always have a home for me, but not for him. I fear he is just using me and them. He doesn't pay rent, and they pay for all of our groceries, and he refuses to even mow the lawn or weed eat.
You know what weed eating is?
I don't.
You don't know what weed eating is?
Like pulling the weeds?
Do you know what weed eating is?
Weed eating?
What?
Okay,
Oh my, you little Californian boys don't know what weed eating is.
weed eating?
Yes.
Or weeding?
Weed eating.
Heard of weeding?
I've heard of
Okay,
weeding.
all right. These guys have not done landscaping. Okay, so basically,
I've done
landscaping.
No, no,
I had a
no, you don't know what
landscaping-
weed eating is. You can't
You
say
just
that
call
again.
it something different.
No, okay, here it is. You lawn mow, and then whenever there's weeds around like the house or whatever that's hard, you can't get with the
You
with
take
it.
a weed
You
whack.
get a weed eater and you get you get around it. It's
a weed
eating.
whacker?
No, weed eating.
We just call it a weed whacker.
Yeah,
And
I've
it goes
heard of
ding,
weed.
ding, ding, ding.
Also, as of when he got off work, the PlayStation is now $684, therefore becoming the most expensive expense on this budget.
67% weed eating.
67?
Yep.
Wow.
69.
I'm floored.
70.
Giants Milk, Massachusetts. I see you.
Oh my God. Okay, so that's the end of the story. Dump this man.
Get out of there. Get him out of. If you're at your house, which I think we figured out, they're
Yeah.
at their house. Yeah,
At her parents' house.
Just kick him out.
Take a weed eater / whacker.
And you will get to tell your kid, this is why you don't have this man as your father.
Absolutely.
Hopefully you find somebody new
Yes.
and you fall in love and have a great life. And then you can tell him, yeah, we ditched that man because he absolutely
Because he sucks. Got him.
Jeez.
Yeah, this guy. Wow. It is. I mean, this could
Like
be
zero redeeming quality. Is there
Zero.
any redeeming quality about this man?
Literally,
Has he done anything?
He's great at Call of Duty.
Is he though? He comes in
probably
pretty
isn't.
upset. You don't really come in upset if you're performing well.
That's true. That is so true. Wow. Well, guys, that's it for this episode and this whole stream.
We got some donos we need to read.
Whoa.
We
You
got
guys
some
read 'em?
donos we need to read. Here we go. Oh, let's see it. There we go, Mad Hatter Gal. I do have a small update. We did read that one. We did read that one as well.
Sorry, I didn't like them
One of the
because
big
that
best
was a
stories.
heavy
We had some heavy
story.
ones. We had some
today.
heavy ones. But you know what's some sad, heavy news? It's over. You, me, J'Anthony, it's no more. Guys, it's been a great stream. A fantastic stream at that. So beautiful. But sadly, I have to bid you adieu. If you love us, make sure to subscribe.
Because we love you.
And see you tomorrow!